Hello and welcome to today's web seminar, How Insurance Agencies and Brokers Drive Leads with Content Marketing. This webinar is brought to you by StartUpSelling with special guest speaker, founder and CEO Alan Bloom. Alan is a subject matter expert when it comes to content marketing. In fact, he is a highly experienced content creator. As you can see by his bio slide here, he's written Your Virtual Success and Sell More and Work Less, 2 published books. He's written over 150 agency marketing articles and has been assisting agencies and brokers, like those of you on the line today, with marketing, including content generation and content marketing for over a decade. Now to introduce myself, my name is John Scranton. I'm an agency marketing pro, was formerly a licensed agent in New York State, and also very involved in content marketing. Co-authored Sell More and Work Less, and I specialize in blogging, social media, and video creation and managing content campaigns for both StartUpSelling and several of our agency clients. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to explain how to create killer content to help you as an agency or broker or MGA drive leads into the pipeline. You'll learn how to create a compelling content marketing strategy that's going to include the who, what, when, where, why of your content strategy. We're going to help you build your content creation team and calendar. Who's going to do what, when, so that you have a consistent and coherent campaign. We're going to talk about different components of content marketing and how to leverage them, such as blogs, articles, PR, video, etc. And lastly, but certainly not least, how to convert content-driven leads into pipeline prospects so you can generate revenue with this content marketing campaign that you invest time or resources in. So let's get started. Alan, tell us about how to create your content strategy.
Absolutely. Let's start at the beginning with a definition. Content marketing is the process for creating and distributing relevant and valuable content to attract, acquire, and engage a defined target audience. It's simple. The concepts are there. You take content of value, you distribute it to people who are important to you that you want to sell to, and it will be information that they would like to consume. So with that, let's begin. The who, what, when, where, and why. So this is very basic, perhaps a grammar school concept. So let's talk about that. Who are you trying to reach as you're creating your strategy? If you're a broker, if you're an agency, maybe you're in California, maybe you're in New Jersey, maybe you're in Maine, who is it that you're trying to reach? Are you selling benefits plans? Are you selling trucking insurance? Are you selling EPLI? What is it that you're trying to sell? So who are those people? Are they architects? Are they risk managers, fleet operators? What is their industry? Where are they located? Do you sell only in New England? Do you sell regionally? Do you sell nationally? Do you have a very narrow program but a very large geographical base? Or is it the opposite? You have a very broad program but you cover Southern California. Now, what content will your prospects consume? And I have some interesting slides on this in a few minutes. Is it going to be blogs or video, published articles, ebooks, video vignettes, webinars, recorded webinars, on-demand webinars, traditional content? Are you driving them to your website? What is it that the people are going to consume? And by the way, what information would be of value to them? For example, buy my insurance is cheaper. Well, that's not probably of interest to many people, or certainly from a B2B perspective, but if you were going to share information on OSHA regulations and how they can impact your insurance rates, if you were talking about new additions, Ebola coverage perhaps, and how Ebola coverage is now available as a rider for your healthcare insurance, PPACA, new ACA regulations, and how they're going to impact you. All of these things would be information people would want to consume, your target market, and it will help elevate the discussion to a higher level. You don't want to just sell insurance, for example, and this is applicable to more than just insurance agencies. It's any business. You don't want to just sell your product. You want to elevate the conversation to the point where you're more of a consultant, a trusted advisor, a partner. So once you've decided on that, when will you share the content? Daily, That's really tough. You have to have really great information to share daily, unless there's a caveat here, unless you're sharing it on Twitter, in which case you could share it continuously through the day in a very short number of characters. But typically, when we're sharing more substantial content, weekly is the maximum. Depending on the content, it might be every 2 weeks is preferred. Where is this content going to live? Is it going to be internal on a blog? Is it going to be external to your site? Is it going to be a YouTube? Is it going to be video on your website? We'll be talking about these things. And why are you posting this content? Are you going after client retention? Are you trying to create leads? Are you trying to close more business? So let's go into it. Building your calendar. Just like this image on your screen right now, it's a blank slate. The best thing you could do is get ahead of the game and say, I have 10 topics in mind right now that I'd love to share with my clients. I'll take it from a benefits agency standpoint for a minute. I have updates, ACA updates. I have ACA court rulings. I have renewal, the 10 most important things you need to do for your upcoming renewal. Great Q4 topic. I have tax implications of ACA for 2015, and you come up with your list of topics. And then once you've established the calendar, and it might be twice a week, and there are better days than others, for example, and better times than others to share information, and that does vary whether it's business to consumer, B2C, or business to business, B2B. You create your calendar, and you can even schedule your content. You don't have to say, my content's going out Tuesday morning, I'm doing it Tuesday morning. There are many tools now available to schedule this content for you, or you can outsource it to an insurance agency or insurance broker expert, and it will be done in that way for you. So, what is it that we're going to share? Well, it begins with a blog. If you've been to webinars before, we often say that. It's our credo. It begins with a blog. Because with a blog, so many things can be done. First of all, a blog can be relatively short. A blog can be pithy. A blog can be 100 words. It could be 300 words. It could be 400 words. I don't recommend blogs that are 1,000 or 1,200 words. Blogs are typically better concise. And you pick your topic. And it might be, new trucking rules and regulations. It might, impacting CDL. It might be new benefits regulations. It might be cyber liability. It might be what happened with Sony and how do you make sure it doesn't happen to you, for example. So you come up with your blog. You create this blog and you post it, number one, internally to your site. Should you then take this content and duplicate it all over on your own? Like have 10 of your own blogs all with the same thing? No. People, the search engines, Yahoo, Bing, Google frown on that. It's duplication of content. You can go into the penalty box for that. You post your blog to your website. And it's best to be consistent, especially with subscribers, because you can get them to say, oh, every Tuesday morning, XYZ broker, ABC agency has a blog and they know it's not spam and it comes into them. So perhaps you blog every Tuesday and Thursday or every Tuesday and Friday. Now, articles. Well, the best way to write an article, a compelling article of interest, content for consumption to your target market, is to take that blog, take that topic, and turn it into an article. We have an example of that coming up. Press releases. Excuse me. Well, you typically wouldn't use a blog as a press release or an article as a press release, but you might do the series as a press release. For example, we have a blog series on new ACA regulations for 2015. We have a new 2015 series on the impact of trucking regulations on insurance rates, and go to our blog to see that series. Same with articles. So, and then of course all the other things that make for good press releases. These days, if you're using a premium press release engine, it is fantastic for taking content from a shotgun approach and sharing it. You can get 100,000 impressions, 4,000 media distribution to 4,000 media outlets, and pick up by hundreds of online sources, taking your valuable content and putting your message out there for people who then want to read it. Out of that, you might get 100 people who are interested either downloading the PDF version of the release or going to your insurance website. Now, video. Video is different from the first three. How? Well, the first three tend to be textually centric, correct? Although blogs can now be vlogs, which are video blogs, and articles can have a link to a video, and press releases, certain premium distributors, PR Web, for example, allow you to embed a video right in the release. That's powerful. They did that for a reason, and the reason is because video and then social media along with video is so compelling. So let's drill down a little bit more on this now. So it all begins with a great blog. Well, here's I can't say it's a great blog. It's a blog that I wrote. It's the top 10 New Year resolutions for insurance CEOs. And it says 10 things, and one of which is, of course, you should have a video on your website. But there's different things that I'm saying. Now, it didn't take that long to write this. I write these frequently. I have reminders to myself. I might write them early in the morning. I might write them at night. I have a blog ideas folder on my computer with literally 100 ideas for blogs, and periodically I look at that and I write up a blog. It has an image in there. Blogs with images perform much better than blogs without images, dramatically, an order of magnitude. Now, you could take a blog and then turn it into an article. Ezine is the biggest article directory on the web right now. I have approximately 15,000 views of my insurance articles, and it's a great way to distribute. It's free to distribute. As you publish more and more with them, you go up in their level. For example, I'm now a platinum author there. My articles get published like right away. And so do our clients, by the way. And here was a blog that I started, should agents staff up or outsource their insurance marketing? And this is powerful, but it is still textual. It is still sharing content marketing with text. Here's an example of a press release. New Startup Selling Insurance webinar. Improving lead generation through effective content marketing. That's what you're here seeing today. Now, this press release got 120,000 impressions, 4,505 media deliveries, and 4,425 reads. Pretty impressive. Note the video. Very important. That video is live in the actual release. So let's segue to video. Video is where it's at today. Video is becoming so powerful, and particularly with the younger generation, and I don't want to pick on that younger generation, but they want to consume information quickly. They have turned YouTube into a giant. YouTube's numbers are astronomical. Video is a missed opportunity. 80% of website visitors watch a video, but only 20% read content. If you don't agree with that statement, I could argue it's at least 51-49 people like video. Video gets the concepts very quickly, and you can decide if you like or don't like the video very quickly. It's an easy watch. You could do it to some extent while you're doing something else. It's easy to consume. It gets your prospects' attention. It increases that retention by 74%. Now remember, in traditional classroom education, they say it's much more important than telling a student something. Showing a student something increases their retention dramatically more. And it explains concepts, even sometimes very difficult concepts, quickly. 90% of internet users surveyed say seeing a video helps their decision-making process, especially for something called considered purchase. A considered purchase is when you're a business and you're purchasing $50,000 in business and commercial insurance, and it's a fairly big number to you, and you really have to consider the coverages, the expertise of the broker providing it to you. Are they taking your best interest? Do they have the expertise? Do they have the subject matter expertise? Are they specializing in my area or in manufacturing? That's a considered purchase. A consumer purchase for something that's $50 is often very quick and go down in price to $5 or $10, and you get to the point where it's line of sight and display, and it's an impulse purchase. So most of the people on the line today are going to be considered purchase. They're selling to often business-to-business insurance. Now, videos are very hot, very important today, but you always want to look at new and innovative content marketing strategies to help you carry your message to that target audience in a way that is engaging to them. Back to our original definition. And on the right is an infographic. Many of you may have seen infographics. In fact, this particular infographic, I had far more comments, far more questions, and far more activity on LinkedIn and my blog with this infographic than I've had on almost any other type of content. This didn't take very long to do, this infographic. It's kind of cool looking, you would agree. And it's basically sharing statistics in a fun and interesting way. If I wrote that down in a blog or with 5 or 10 line items, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting or compelling as it is in this infographic. The same thing for videos, by the way. Today, there's something called whiteboard videos. They're really cool and fun and interesting and more engaging than the traditional image-based videos, which replaced the traditional talking head videos of 10 years ago. So look, as we migrate toward progressively new and interesting content management opportunities, take advantage of those opportunities for the greatest amount of engagement with your prospective clients or existing clients. So these images are getting pretty pervasive these days. These images people are going to be familiar with: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. The first 3 are arguably more important than the latter, than Google+. LinkedIn is the biggest because if you're B2B, start with LinkedIn. B2B can influence decisions. B2B can drive, LinkedIn can drive B2B leads. LinkedIn is a B2B vehicle. Not that Facebook doesn't have any business visitors, but LinkedIn, for all of us who are in business, is actually something you might use almost on a daily basis. Now, LinkedIn offers some great methods to get your content out there. You can publish with LinkedIn. You can put updates on LinkedIn. You can enter in a LinkedIn group content, educational content, webinars, blogs. You can actually create and run a group. For example, our insurance groups, we probably have, I don't know, close to 10,000 agents and brokers in our insurance groups now. One of them is insurance agency lead generation, another's insurance SEO, another's insurance social media marketing. So social media is a great method, a great system, a great platform to share content. Will you be able to then drive leads through that? Yes, if you do it correctly, you will. Through Twitter, well, for business-to-business insurance to a lesser degree, and Facebook, but in LinkedIn, definitely, and all of them you should utilize regardless. They're free platforms that help you extend your messaging and branding. So, let's go into that a little bit. How do you do that? And remember, this isn't just about content marketing. The subject of this webinar was content marketing and converting content marketing into leads and opportunities for agents and brokers. Now, above on the green arrows, you see connections, subscribers, interactions. Those are general buckets for, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and blog subscribers and followers and so on. And then you have these two kind of odd things at the end, calls and appointments. So ultimately, no matter what you're doing, if you're a considered purchase marketing organization, if you're an organization selling benefits to 100-person groups, if you're a trucking agency selling small fleets, 25 to 50 power units, if you're selling EPLI, or D&O, for example, to larger organizations. Ultimately, the interactions need to manifest themselves into discussions. So the last part of that is relatively traditional marketing. Now, they could be calling you, in which case you don't need an outbound call, but it's still a call. You need to engage with that prospect to have them move into your pipeline and to sell them the appropriate insurance coverages. But with all of your content, no matter what it is, you must have a call to action. If you don't have a call to action, you're missing it. And I'm going to back up for a second, because even at the bottom of my infographic, it says Startup Selling, Insurance Marketing and Lead Generation, a phone number, and a website. It could be even more compelling than that, but it has at least that. And above it, it says contact info@startupselling.com. So here, a couple of examples. It could be, we say free web marketing review. It could be an insurance, no obligation insurance consultation. Get a quote from us. Compliance review, etc. It could be join us for a webinar, subscribe to my blog, download a white paper. It could be as simple as contact John S. at StartUpSelling.com for additional information. But no matter what, have your call to action. Now, beyond the call to action to convert leads, content marketing into usable leads, you want to take all of these people, your blog subscribers, your followers, your connections, and you want to send information to them, give them opportunities to contact you, reach out to them, engage with them in a variety of different ways. And that all gets into having your video should have a call to action on them. Your blog should have a call to action. Your articles will have an author resource box. You should have a usable and easily understood call to action. You should have links to landing pages or to contact us forms for all of your content. Make sure you have those call to actions available wherever and whenever possible. Don't have 5, have 1, have 2. Make it sticky, not spammy, but have those call to actions manifested wherever applicable. So with that, John, why don't you wrap up for us today? What else should we cover, and are there any things that we didn't touch upon?
Well, I actually think that was a very thorough and great presentation. I appreciate that, Alan. And to wrap things up and summarize and add a couple of comments, I want to review what we learned today. We learned how to create a compelling content marketing strategy, the who, what, when, where, and why. And I tend to be a little selfish at times, so I think about these in terms of me and startup selling. But when we help our clients with that strategy design and answering those questions, I always use us as an example. Our who is prospects. We want to reach prospects. Our what is typically short blogs and videos. That's what we found our prospects are most open to consuming. The when is at least once a week, sometimes twice. And the where, we want as much of our content as possible to live on our website, because we want people funneled to our website where we have the most opportunities to convert them into a lead. And the why, of course, is lead gen. And for B2B agencies who are selling commercial lines or group benefits, your answers may be very similar to what I just gave. We also help and want you to understand how to build your content creation team and calendar. I often think of the tools, time, and talent phraseology or paradigm that we often share. The ideas or the talent for your blog may come from one person. The writer or the time may come from another person. The posting, optimization, and sharing the tools may come from a third person. Some or all of those may be outsourced because you don't have the tools, time, or talent in-house to get those things done. Alan talked a lot about all the different components. I used to send a blog link to prospects probably 2 to 3 times a week. Here's an example of what we talked about today. And I still do that probably at least once a week. But the other 2 or 3 times have been replaced by video links. Here's a 2-minute video vignette explaining to you live with graphics and a voiceover explanation of what we were talking about and why it's important. And lastly, driving leads into the pipeline. Make sure, like Alan said, that everything you do is optimized by having a simple, clear call to action somewhere in or after that piece of content that you've created, because the idea here is that quality content marketing should showcase you as an agent or broker, as a thought leader, and eventually result in new business. So with that, we're going to open it up to questions. We have a very large audience today who submitted a lot of questions. We've selected a handful that we think offer a good cross-section of the questions that came in. And Alan, I'll pose the first one to you. What tools do you like or suggest we use to share and schedule content online?
You know, that's a great question, but it's sort of a little bit vague because you can schedule blogs, you can schedule social media. I think they might be referring to social media, and two well-known ones are Buffer App and Hootsuite, which allow you to kind of schedule out all of the social media in one place, so you can put in your LinkedIn post, your Facebook post, your Twitter, etc., in a dashboard and have it go out to all of them correctly at one time at your convenience. So you can just schedule in advance. WordPress does schedule. You can, in WordPress, for example, inherently schedule, but I think they're referring to social media, so I'd say probably Hootsuite and Buffer App.
Thank you. The next question we have is, how do you choose the right blog topics for your clients and or prospects?
Really good question. You know, it begins with what would be of interest to your target market. So remember the definition at the beginning. Who is it that you're trying to engage? For example, if you're trying to sell to really large corporations, the topics have to be germane to them. It's probably not going to be tax planning or succession planning that's going to be of interest. But if you're selling to small businesses, those two topics could be of high interest to them. So look at your audience. Are you selling to dentists, physicians, and so on? You know, and it's OSHA-centric. Are you selling to mega corporations and it's regulation-centric? Focus, however, on things that are always changing. Those are going to be the best topics to engage.
Thank you. And then we have two more questions that we'll take that I'll handle. One is, where can we see samples or examples of the videos that you showed us today? And you can see those videos at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/startupselling, or on our website, startupselling.com. And many people have also asked about the slides or recording for today's web seminar. My contact information is on the screen. You can email me and request a copy of the presentation, or check back to our YouTube channel and or website to view a recording of today's web seminar. With that, we thank you all for attending. We hope you all have a great day. This web seminar is now ending.